The path to the Pete continues here this evening as GCC takes to their second home to look to continue their quest as the number 4 Centurions play host here at Norwin to the Greyhounds from Monessen. Alex Lyons, Jose Negron with you for all the action from your old stomping grounds, Jose, at Norwin High School this evening in this 2A quarterfinal matchup.
Yeah, go Norwin Knights, but no Norwin Knights on the court here at the home of the Norwin Knights as the Monessen Greyhounds, the 5th seed in Class 2A, taking on the number 4 seed Greensburg Central Catholic Centurions. And, of course, these are two teams that haven't met this year, but they've played some common opponents in Sarah Catholic and Jeanette, two teams that are in the same section as Greensburg Central Catholic. But 16 straight victories for the Greyhounds, who beat Jeanette in the first round, and GCC with a win over Southside Beaver to get here to this quarterfinal matchup. But excited to see what we have in this one. I mean, Monessen, this is a team that really thought that they were underseeded in Class 2A, maybe thought they should be seeded ahead of these Greensburg Central Catholic Centurions. Of course, this Monessen team beat Sarah Catholic. They beat Wash High coming into the playoffs. GCC, they lost to Sarah Catholic at the end of their regular season. So definitely a game that I think Monessen's going to be ready for.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing, ready for, that both coaches told me. Head coach Dan Bosnick saying we got to be out and ready from the jump. And also Coach Chris Hyland, just 26 years of age in his 3rd season here at Greensburg Central Catholic, said expect the high-paced game. Both teams are very aggressive defensively, so that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Transition offense from that defense. Both teams like to play that way, but he mentioned Monessen's streak. He said this is a team, they've been clicking for the last however many games, and to be exact, it's 16 in a row, 19 of 20, without a loss to a 2A foe this year. To add that in, but GCC knows they have to get out to a hot start, and they have to be ready to go right away, and they have the weapons to do so, whether it be the returning 6'4 senior Brevin Williams underneath, as the big fella has been able to light it up this year, or Tyree Turner, the sophomore, coming in, kind of filling those shoes that Christian McGowan left the season ago. And, McGowan at this point in the playoffs last year was probably the most fragile player in the entire 2A bracket. That's nothing against him. He was just in a massive injury sequence that he couldn't get over. He hadn't had a full practice, and it was a tough time. But now they have that full arsenal. A healthy Tyree Turner has been excellent this year. Dylan Parsons is phenomenal. And then also you add in Ryan Appleby. And it's just a great lineup for Greensburg Central Catholic. But Monessen, nothing to forget. You got Lorenzo Gardner, who went absolutely crazy everywhere besides the free throw line against the Jeanette Jayhawks. Add in Cody Coons, Dante DeFelice, and Jashawn Blackman. And Lanaj Thomas, good to see him out there for warm-ups and was able to come back in that Jeanette game after getting hurt. But these are two lineups that match up very well, and Monessen thinks if they play their game, it's going to be a tough night for Greensburg Central Catholic. Yeah,
and a lot of size. I mean, you look at the lineup for GCC, they got 3 guys over 6'4", and Ryan Appleby and Brevin Williams at 6'4", and Franco Alvarez, who stands at 6'5". So, this is a kind of the height factor. Monessen has some good height of their own with guys like Cody Coons, Lanaj Thomas, Lorenzo Gardner, and Jashawn Blackman. We'll see how good they actually do match up here in this one.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun to watch here from Norwin High School. As I said, it's GCC's second home, whether it had been the soccer playoffs or basketball. They were 2-0 on this floor a season ago, including a victory over Stowe Rocks, which I had the pleasure of calling on their trip to the title game, where they eventually would lose to Our Lady of Sacred Heart, who is the favorite once again, and the winner of this game will most likely get. But hey, upsets have been in the making the last couple days. Rochester lost. We saw number 1 Elwood City go down yesterday. Only an 8-point win for number 1 Laurel Highlands. North Catholic, a 4-seed loss to Lincoln Park. So upsets are starting to mash, and Monessen wants to add their name to that, even though a 5-over-4 isn't necessarily a big upset. You'd like to get a shot at most likely Jake DeMichael and the Chargers.
Oh, Monessen wants this one. You know that after the seeding, everything that went on with that and them feeling kind of slighted by that. They want to win over a team that they thought they should have been seated above.
And now it's either put up or shut up for the Greyhounds, because if they don't put up and continue this streak, then they're done. They're going home, and GCC's moving on to the semifinals. As, Monessen, they also want to get that state playoff appearance. You're playing right now, as Coach Bacco of the Sarah Catholic told me last night, yeah, you're playing for wins, you're playing to move on, but you're playing for a few extra days with your teammates, as we'll step aside for the playing of the national anthem right here on the TRIBLive High School Sports Network.
Have you always wanted to install security cameras in your house, but none of the commercial installers wanted to bother with you? Now you can call Kevin Ike Evangelo at Right Bite Computers for all your residential security camera needs. Call Ike at 724-272-2145 for your free security camera analysis.
If you're looking for somewhere to eat after the game, check out our friends down at the Foster House 2, serving up their famous king sandwiches 7 days a week until 11:30 p.m. The Foster House 2, located at 1 Cook Road in Bell Vernon. Anthem played, lineups are next, and then it's quarterfinal action here in the boys 2A bracket. MVI Lives coverage of the WPIAL postseason on the TRIBLive High School Sports Network. As we'll take a look first for the Monessen Greyhounds, looking at this lineup, as it is going to be Lorenzo Gardner, the team's leading scorer, 19 points per game for the sophomore, 6'3" sophomore forward Lanaj Thomas, the 6'3" senior do-it-all guard Cody Coons, 5'10" guard Dante DeFelice, and the 6'1" junior Jayshawn Blackman. So that's Gardner, Thomas, DeFelice, Blackman, and Coons, I think was the one I left out there for the Monessen Greyhounds, led by head coach Dan Bosnick. 19-4 on the season, 16 in a row. As now a look at the host GCC Centurions. They'll put out a very lethal and talented lineup that looks like this. It's going to be the 5'11" sophomore guard Tyree Turner, 12.4 points per game. Joining them will be the 6' senior guard Dylan Parsons, 4.3 helpers. 6'4" senior forward Ryan Appleby, the 6'4" senior forward Brevin Williams, 18.4 points per game for Brevin Williams, and the 6'5" sophomore forward Franco Alvarez. As again for GCC, that's Turner, Parsons, and Appleby, Williams, and Alvarez. The 5 for Coach Highland here this evening against the Greyhounds from Monessen.
Interesting in seeing how Monessen rebounds tonight as well. And we saw against the Jeanette Jayhawks, Lanaj Thomas and Jayshawn Blackman really big inside. Blackman dealt with a little bit of foul trouble in that game, so definitely going to need him on the floor as much as possible. But this is a Monessen team that has a lot of depth on the bench as well, with guys like Devontae Robinson and Devontae Ross as well. So definitely going to be interesting to see who comes out on top in this one, but I'm excited for it.
Brevin Williams, Lanaj Thomas, as we get set to get underway. 8 minutes on the clock as they line up. Ball in the air, and the quarterfinals have started. It's Dante DeFelice. DeFelice over the center court stripe, barking out orders. Far side, Cody Coons. Back to DeFelice. Dante. Near side, Lorenzo Gardner. Gardner inside, Blackman looking to penetrate. Picked away, that's by Tyree Turner. Turner up over the divider. Turner Near side, there's Parsons in the left wing. Parsons back up top, Turner. Turner to Parsons. Parsons, left elbow, kicks it out, deflected. That was by DeFelice. Here comes Lorenzo. Lorenzo has it poked out of his hands and out of play. It goes to the Centurions from Greensburg Central Catholic.
GCC wants to come away with a win. They're going to need to do this as well. Monessen likes to get in transition, turn turnovers into easy points. Lorenzo Gardner usually on the scoring end of those plays.
As up top, there's Appleby kicking to Williams, back to Appleby. There's Parsons. Parsons has it deflected away. Here comes Gardner. Gardner straight in from the left side. Lorenzo starts the scoring for the Greyhounds.
Told you.
Mr. Do-It-All for Monessen. Offensively, Lorenzo has been lethal this season. As there's Turner floating it up, back ironing in. As Tyree Turner answers right back. 2-all, 6:37 remaining in the first. Now it's Lorenzo to DeFelice. Dante DeFelice sending Coons through. DeFelice surveys his option as time continues to tick off the clock. 2-2 game here, opening quarter. Lorenzo Gardner looks to penetrate as going down was Thomas, and a foul call with 6:15 remaining in the first. It goes against the Greyhounds from Monessen.
Don't know if Thomas slipped on there or what happened on that play, but nonetheless.
He's the man getting the personal.
Yeah, first foul of the night goes to Lanaj Thomas.
Shot up by Williams, no good. Rebound, grab down, Blackman. There comes Cody Coons. Coons driving in. Now peels back out. Coons bounce past to Blackman. Blackman to Dante DeFelice, directing Blackman into the high post. Bounce pass there. Kick out. Coons for three. Buried. Cody Coons from beyond the arc. And the Greyhounds take the lead once more. It's 5-2 with 5:40 remaining in the first. Tyree Turner over the divider, and that one's tied up. Dual possession called. Arrow points to the Centurions.
Like the defensive effort so far for the Greyhounds through the first 2.5 minutes. I guess you could kind of predict that this was maybe going to be a low-scoring start. Two pretty strong defenses here. Turner inside to Brevin Williams, and Williams misses on that one. Nice rebound there for Lanaj Thomas.
Here comes Dante DeFelice. DeFelice, kick out, Coons from Blackman. He knocks it through again. Cody Coons, hot from outside to start. And it's an 8-2 Greyhound lead.
Coons has been really successful from beyond the arc the last few weeks, as there's maybe another turnover, another steal by Monessen, and it will be a steal, and Dan Bosnick calls the timeout with 4:56 to go.
8-2 Monessen on top of Greensburg Central Catholic, 4:56 remaining in the first.
I think the first 3 minutes, this is exactly what Monessen has wanted to do, right, Alex? I mean, this is the game that they've wanted to play solid defense, create turnovers rather, turn it into points, and Cody Coons has been lights out from beyond the arc. We've seen that before. We saw late in the regular season against Bentworth. He was almost automatic.
Yeah, and that's a big start for them, getting Coons to knock down a couple triples. The timeout now being called by Monessen to keep possession. And I think that's a big thing because they've done everything right thus far for Monessen. Now you're getting a chance to increase the lead, and you keep the possession arrow in your favor, and you have a chance to say, hey, okay, we're doing everything right, but we have to keep doing that. We can't get comfortable. Foot got to stay on the gas this entire game because GCC, they can be lethal in a hurry with Williams and Turner along with Parsons.
We know how easy a lead can slip away. Last night with South Allegheny, they were up by 10 with 5 minutes to go and saw that lead disappear a little bit.
As down low, Williams wasn't ready by the pass from Alvarez. And another turnover for Greensburg Central Catholic.
Turnovers from both teams there.
Halfway through the first quarter, Dante DeFelice up over the Norwin Knights center court logo. Far side, that's the Lorenzo Gardner. Inside Blackman. Blackman kick out to Lorenzo. Lorenzo lost the handle, out of bounds, and GCC basketball.
Monessen getting a little out of sorts on offense. Can't leave these openings for GCC to climb back.
Kick out, Turner all alone, front iron, no, rebound, grab down by Gardner. Lorenzo near side, that's the Dante DeFelice. DeFelice over the center court divide. Dante surveys his options in the right wing, goes to Gardner. Gardner up top, left elbow, left block, lays it up off the window and in. Second bucket of the game for Gardner, puts the lead at 8 for Monessen with 3:40 remaining in the first.
No fear for Lorenzo Gardner.
Parsons to Alvarez underneath, slapped out of the hands of Brevin Williams. Talked with Coach Bosnick about that as well. Almost anybody, and probably all 5 can guard Brevin Williams. You probably don't want DeFelice or Blackman on him, but the other 3, it's a favorable matchup, I feel like, if you're Monessen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not just with their length, but the way they play defense. There isn't a bad defender on this Monessen team.
As getting to the rim is the sophomore Tyree Turner for his second bucket of the game. Lead back at 6 with 3:20 remaining in the first half. Inside Blackman. Blackman DeFelice now. Kick out Gardner, pulls the trigger, and that one off the front iron. Brevin looking to pick the pace up. Up ahead, there goes Appleby off the glass and in. A quick 4 for the Centurions. Make it a 10-6 game here in the first. 3 minutes remaining. Near side, Cody Coombs. Back to DeFelice. Inside, Blackman. Blackman. Bounce pass out to Dante DeFelice. DeFelice surveys over his options. Inside, Blackman pulls up from 13. No good off the front iron. Long rebound, DeFelice to Gardner. Gardner drives the baseline, tries to put it up, blocked down right to Blackman, who finishes at the rim. First bucket of the game for Jashawn Blackman. Lead up to 6 once more for the Greyhounds. Far side, knocked out off the hands of Lanaj Thomas.
Monte Ross going to be the first man off the bench for Monessen, as Lanaj Thomas will get a breather.
It's been the case for the majority of it. Is shot in by Williams. Back irons out. Rebound by Devontae Ross Clayton up to the near side. That's taken by Gardner. Gardner floats it. Turnover. There goes Brevin Williams. Williams slows up. Now drives in. Left block. Lays it up. Offensive foul on Brevin Williams. Jashawn Blackman drew the contact. First foul against Brevin Williams, and first against Greensburg Central Catholic. Monessen, they've done a great job on the glass, especially with Turner averaging 4.5. You have Smelk averaging 3.3. 6.3 for Appleby, 7.3 for Williams, and 4.3 for Alvarez is a turnover, and we'll go back the other way with the Centurions. But Monessen's done an excellent job winning the battle on the boards thus far.
Yeah, and done a good job of staying out of foul trouble so far as well. Just the one foul on Lanaj Thomas. I think that's definitely key, keeping your guys on the court.
As Parsons sends it off the back iron, rebound. There's Appleby. Appleby off the window. Pinballs around to Devontae Ross Clayton. Now it's DeFelice fouled in transition. Is getting a piece of him was Dylan Parsons, the 6-foot senior. Second foul against Greensburg Central Catholic with 1:44 remaining in the first. A 12-6 lead for the Monessen Greyhounds. On the season, GCC averaging 69.7 per game compared to Monessen 60.7. But Monessen giving up 3 less points a game than the Centurions. As inside Blackman kick out Ross Clayton. Lost the handle, tries to go inside. Turnover, Alvarez to Appleby. Appleby kick off to Parsons. Skips it ahead, deflected out. Active hands by Dante DeFelice. And GCC will set up down to our left with 1:20 remaining in the first.
DeFelice kind of an unsung hero on this Monessen team too. Kid who had some nice points against Jeanette and does a good job on the defensive side as well.
As Turner off the mark, rebound swatted out. Last touch by the Greyhounds, Lorenzo Gardner. Pretty full crowd here for this in this Norwin High School gymnasium. And seeing just across on your screen, that's the Monessen faithful. GCC on the same side as us. So it proves why that game had to be held at a different location than Greensburg Central Catholic High School, as Turner knocks it down from beyond the arc. Tyree Turner has all 7 of the 9 for the Centurions, but nonetheless, the sophomore has kept them around. Cody Coons, he's up to 6 at this point for Monessen. Kickoff Ross Clayton back to Coons. Cody Coons looks to penetrate. Coons in the right wing. Up top, that's Lorenzo Gardner. Screen by DeFelice to the corner. Ross Clayton with the triple. Back iron, no. Rebound by Turner. Up ahead, there's Appleby with the left, lays it in. Lead down to 1. Ryan Appleby, the 6'4 senior, taking care of business at the cylinder.
Yeah, not good transition defense there for the Greyhounds. 2 Centurion players just left alone on the other end of the floor.
DeFelice with 13, now 12. It's Lorenzo Gardner. Floats it to DeFelice with 8. DeFelice turns it over. Up ahead, Appleby for the lead, off the glass and in. And GCC has stormed all the way back, and they take the 13-12 lead into the first quarter break.
All 13 points from Tyree Turner and Ryan Appleby. And Monessen limited to just 2 points in the final 3.5 minutes of that first quarter.
And 8-2 lead for the Monessen, 10-2 lead for Monessen, if I'm not mistaken. Got up to 8 points. And then that huge run for Greensburg Central Catholic as they take the lead after one here on your exclusive home for the 2022 WPIAL Basketball Playoffs, the TRIBLive High School Sports Network.
Candelore's Barking Beauties, where our salon is your salon. 5 convenient, no appointment needed salons, all breeds welcome, and any size dogs. Visit www.candeloresbarkingbeauties.com or call 412-872-5550.
Back out here from Norwin High School. 13-12 the lead in favor of Greensburg Central Catholic as they came roaring back against the Greyhounds from Monessen. It was a 10-2 advantage for the Monessen Greyhounds. 6 points for Cody Coons, 4 for Gardner, 6 for Appleby, and 7 for Tyree Turner as the inbound goes to Dante DeFelice. Over the center court divider, DeFelice near side Gardner. Gardner goes to DeFelice. Dante up top, near side Lorenzo. Lorenzo inside Blackman. Blackman kick out. DeFelice with the triple. That one rattles out, no good. Rebound Parsons. There's Turner. He has Williams, takes it himself with the right. And Tyree Turner increases the run. He's up to 9. The sophomore has been spectacular here this evening. Inside Blackman to Thomas. Lanage can't answer. As Alvarez in the way, now it's Parsons, and he'll fire it out looking for Brevin Williams. Brevin Williams, the leading scorer, is scoreless to this moment. It's been the sophomore Turner and the senior Appleby leading the way. As checking in will be Smelka, the 6'3 sophomore, averaging 6.1 points per game. First time we've seen him today.
The last 3 buckets by GCC has just been them taking advantage of either a turnover or a defensive rebound, and there's another turnover for the Greyhounds.
It's Appleby to Williams. Brevin Williams puts it up, rattles no good. Smelka up and 1. Smelka off the bench, onto the scoreboard, off the miss. And a timeout, 30-second variety used by head coach Dan Bosnick and the Monessen Greyhounds. That's his second used here so far.
I think Monessen just needs to regroup here. You know, their transition defense has not been strong the last couple of sequences, and they're giving up turnovers, they're giving up defensive rebounds, and Centurion players are hustling down the court and getting easy buckets.
And it started, I think, extending this zone to half court, and now they're really forcing the issue. That skip pass to Coons that was there early on, it was not there now. Appleby's just standing there with his 6'4" frame, picking them off and sending Turner, Williams, Parsons, whoever it may be, the other way, looking for easy transition points. And both coaches kind of said that's a big thing. Transition game is going to possibly decide this game. And Monessen knew they had to play their best. They did early on. They have not as of late. And they're going to look to get back into the swing of things after this free throw attempt, which is sent through for Smelka. Alvarez out, Sherwin in.
Garrett Sherwin, a 6'1" senior forward, so more height that GCC will have on the floor.
16-2 run for Greensburg Central Catholic, and another turnover as here comes Turner. Turner, foul lines. Now wheels back out beyond the arc. Tyree Turner rolling up top. Bounce pass to Brevin Williams. Inside he goes. Appleby puts it up and puts it in. First to 20 go the Centurions. 8 for Ryan Appleby. Monessen needs to find points. They need them soon as that one's blocked down by Williams. And it goes off of the knee of Appleby. The whistle blows, and it's going to be GCC basketball. The only thing keeping Monessen around to this moment as Alvarez back in replace of Sherwin is the fact they got out to a 10-2 advantage.
Yeah, it's been all GCC. I mean, Monessen hasn't scored since the 2:39 mark in that first quarter. Before that, the 3:48 mark.
6:15 remaining here in the quarter. Inside they go. That's Appleby putting it up and stuffing it in again.
Yeah, everything's falling right now for the Centurions. 10-point lead.
Largest of the game, either side, as there's Gardner back to DeFelice. Dante DeFelice to Lorenzo Gardner. Gardner has Coons in the high post, instead goes up top, DeFelice. DeFelice to Blackman, kick out Coons. Williams all over him, Coons back to Dante DeFelice. Inside Blackman, Blackman tries to kick it, and that one's taken away. It's Appleby again. Appleby has made life miserable for the Greyhounds as there's Turner. Kick out Alvarez, short corner shot, no good. Rebound DeFelice. DeFelice kicks it to Gardner. Here goes Gardner. Gardner, he's fouled by Turner on his way to the cylinder. First foul on the 5'11" sophomore, Tyree Turner.
I will say the big thing for Monessen is, just keep plugging away. Don't let any frustrations get in the way. You're down by 10. This is a team that, they're on a 16-game winning streak. They haven't trailed by 10 very, very often this season.
Lanaj Thomas to Cody Coons. Coons, bounce pass to Lorenzo Gardner. Gardner, top of the key, guarded by Turner. Drive straight in, right block, lays it up and lays it in. The run finally ends at the hands of Lorenzo Gardner. And I think if you're Monessen, you got to do a lot more of that. Try to penetrate, try to get to the rim. As everything else will come as that one swatted away by DeFelice and eventually tied up at a timeout first by Greensburg Central Catholic as Appleby and Gardner some extracurriculars as Appleby had to be held back by Tyree Turner. And he'll be stopped by the officials. As our officiating crew, Paul Skarich, Sonny Bruni, and Frank Torbert have stopped Appleby and giving him a quick message after that. Again, to all of our viewers out here with 4:59 remaining in the second quarter in a 22-14 Greensburg Central Catholic lead over Monessen, that this game and the broadcast rights of this game are the sole and exclusive property of the WPIAL and the TRIBLive High School Sports Network. Any broadcast of this game is intended exclusively for the benefit of the viewing and listening audience, and any use, rebroadcast, or distribution of this broadcast without the express written consent from the WPIAL and Trib Total Media is strictly prohibited. It's going to be GCC basketball with 4:57 remaining in the second out of the timeout. 22-14 they lead. Inbound goes to Turner in the backcourt. Tyree Turner pressured by Thomas, near side Appleby. There's Smelka. Smelka drives in and stuffs it off the window and in. Smelka 5 points off the bench here in the second quarter. Now it's Lorenzo Gardner, top of the key. Gardner to Coons. Coons inside Blackman. Blackman to Cody Coons. Coons on the right side, back to Blackman. Blackman looks to kick it out, floats it up top to DeFelice. Dante DeFelice to Lorenzo Gardner. Screen by Blackman, trigger pulled from beyond the arc. Air ball saved by Coons. Blackman off the window and in. What a play by Cody Coons. The senior saved it and got 2 on the board for the Greyhounds. As there's Williams. Williams drives in. He would not be denied as Brevin Williams gets his first bucket of the game.
Yeah, didn't think it was going to take this long for Williams to get on the board, but it just shows you how much the Centurions have taken care of business here in this one.
Blackman driving in, pulls up, and Blackman sends it through. Blackman back-to-back points and trips down for the Greyhounds. He's up to 6, tying Gardner and Cody Coons. 26-18 your lead for GCC. Williams has it knocked away. Here comes Gardner, one-on-one with Turner. Gardner fouled by Tyree Turner as he tried to spin away, and that's the second on the 5'11 sophomore.
That's exactly what we've said before. That's exactly what Monessen likes to do in transition. You get guys in foul trouble. It's next best thing than putting it through the hoop.
Coons the trigger, kick out, DeFelice, catch, release, back iron, no. Rebound grab down by Williams, knocked free by DeFelice, but right to Parsons. Dylan Parsons, bounce pass taken away by DeFelice for a second, but the Centurions got it right back. Appleby inside, there's Williams off his body and out, as draped over him was the 6'3 sophomore Lanaj Thomas. Inbound to Cody Coons. 3:08 remaining here in the second. Coons to DeFelice. The Greyhounds have to get in the front court. They will. There's Blackman, the big man in the corner. Inside Thomas, a little trouble with it, and Appleby takes it away. Now it's Brevin Williams. Williams to Appleby. Appleby bounce past Parsons. Back to Appleby. Pulls the trigger from 3. Off the front iron. No good. Rebound DeFelice. Up ahead to Gardner. Gardner looks to penetrate. Gardner drives in. Puts it up. Lorenzo's fouled. Foul goes against Ryan Appleby. That's his first, team 5th. And Lorenzo, his weakest spot in their first playoff game is where he'll find himself right now. See if he can correct the ship from the line today.
Yeah, Gardner went 3 for 18 in the first round win over Jeanette, and
off to a better start tonight.
Off to a much better start. And you know, we've seen him so much this year. We've seen this team so much this year. And I was actually asked, like, is that, you know, something that happens often? Does he struggle that much from the line? I think that was kind of a fluke. You know, I really don't think that Lorenzo Gardner is a bad free throw shooter. I think he just had a rough night.
Tried to pick the pocket of Parsons unsuccessfully. Now it's Brevin Williams. Williams to Dylan Parsons, pressured by Gardner. He's draped over him. Gardner the steal, and it goes off of Gardner's leg and out. Lorenzo ripped it away, but just ripped it off his knee and out of play.
Yeah, great play by Gardner, and just...
That would have been huge, cutting the lead down to 5 if you were Monessen, as Appleby will come out, Turner back in.
Yeah, absolutely, but got to keep plugging away. Again, you know, Monessen has played better the last few minutes.
And Lorenzo and DeFelice have really amped up the defense. Yeah. Devontae Robinson providing pressure inside. Alvarez knocked out by Blackman.
Yeah, definitely up in the intensity on the defensive end of the ball. 2:13 to go here in the first half.
26-19 your score in favor of GCC. Outside, way downtown, Parsons. No good. Rebound grab by Coons. Gardner across. Here comes Gardner on Turner. Gardner off the window and in. He knew to attack Tyree Turner, who already has 2. 26-21, Turner around Gardner. Far side Parsons, back to Tyree. Turner drives in, and Turner's going to be fouled driving in. It looks like Devontae Robinson is the guilty party. Just the 3rd team foul so far this evening on Monessen as Tyree Turner the trigger. Looks to float it in. Bounce pass in, and Gardner draped over the behind of Smelka, and Lorenzo picks up his first foul. Turner once again will try with 1:49 remaining in the second. Smelka, bounce pass Parsons. Far side, Brevin Williams. Now it's taken up top by Parsons, pulls the trigger, back iron, no, rebound DeFelice. He's been spectacular, and he's one of the smallest players on the floor tonight. There goes Robinson, kick out. Coons thought about the triple, bounce pass off a body, it was off a foot. So a kicking violation called with 1:30 remaining in the half. 26-21, GCC on top of Monessen.
Yeah, not a great decision there for Cody Coons, but he gets a break. He tried to force it down low to Jay-Sean Blackman. Passing lane just wasn't there.
There's Dante DeFelice to Gardner, way outside, buried! Lorenzo Gardner cuts it to a 2-point game. 12 for Gardner, 24 for the Greyhounds. Can they answer at the other end? Smelka drives in, left block, puts it up. Offensive foul again! As going down hard was Blackman, who's slow to get to his feet. Second offensive foul drawn by Jashawn Blackman.
And Blackman has played a really, really strong game. 6 points. He's done a great job on the boards. He's staying out of foul trouble. Real impressed with the way that Jay-Sean Blackman has played here in this first half. And, hey, an 8-0 run has the Greyhounds right back in it.
A chance to tie, but Appleby says no. Now Monessen has to regroup here. See if they can get this next bucket. It's Cody Coons. Lost the handle, but Blackman gets it back. Blackman has it ripped away from behind, but done illegally, and they're going to say Jashawn Blackman was shooting. That goes against Parsons. Now that's Parsons' second. It would have been shooting nonetheless, as that is the team's 7th. Blackman 6 points, 2 offensive fouls drawn. His team down 28-24, trying to cut it back to a 2-point deficit. Back iron, no, it looked good for Blackman from up here. Turner back in. Brevin Williams checking out. 1 foul, 2 points for Brevin Williams, the star senior on this Centurion team. Blackman, back and no. Rebound Alvarez, up ahead, here comes Parsons. Parsons, foul line, kick out, Turner. Turner to the left block, floats it out to Parsons, drives in, pulls up for the mid-range jumper, no good. Blackman with the board, 30 on the clock, and he'll turn it over, but a foul called. All right, kick ball.
Yep. I think it went off of Parsons for getting into the hands of Tyree Turner.
Brevin Williams right back in with 29.7 on the clock. See what Monessen decides to do. Down by 4. If you shoot before the final shot, you won't get the ball back if you're Monessen, but the question is, does GCC allow it? See if they hold for one. Smelka to the left elbow, kick out. Up top they go. Appleby to Alvarez inside. Williams draped over. Whistle blows. Foul called. And I believe that's Lorenzo Gardner's second. And that will be the case. There was 7.8 seconds remaining here in the quarter. Gardner out, Lanage Thomas in. That's to make sure Lorenzo doesn't get a third. I actually think the interesting thing, Gardner fouled Williams before, and then when they called it, it was probably clean for Gardner, but rightfully called as Robinson comes up short at the buzzer. Trying to cut the lead down to 1, but that will have to wait. At the half, nothing decided. It's a 4-point advantage for number 4 Greensburg Central Catholic over number 5 Monessen. As when we come back, we'll have former Greyhound bench boss Joe Salvino with us, possibly on the eve of win number 700. Possibility to do that tomorrow at Bethel Park versus Montour. But when we come back, we'll sit down with Coach Salvino right here on your own for the WPIAL postseason, the TRIBLive High School Sports Network.
Swiss Alpine Dry Cleaners, more than just the cleaners. We have a complete seamstress shop that takes care of all your alterations and sewing needs. Open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Call at 412-896-8082. Or visit us at your convenience, located in Elizabeth Township, inside Swiss Alpine Village. You can also visit us online at SwissAlpineDryCleaners.com.
Candela's Barking Beauties, where our salon is your salon. 5 convenient, no appointment needed salons, all breeds welcome, and any size dogs. Visit www.CandelarsBarkingBeauties.com or call 412-872-5550.
Back here at the half on MVI Live as another halftime interview, this time joined by Bell Vernon head coach Joe Salvino. Coach, really appreciate you taking the time to join us at the half.
I appreciate you having me.
So it's been a great year so far for you guys, a couple hiccups along the way, but overall you coached so many phenomenal teams throughout your course of your career. Where does this one rank with this group of kids?
It ranks up there. I mean, this group of kids is kind of special. Some of these kids were freshmen when I first got here, and then you had somebody like Devin Whitlock, and then Quentin Martin comes, and then Alonzo Wade's here. So I mean, it's nice.
And there's a lot of pressure, in a sense, put on you from outside sources. Not necessarily the team sees it that way, but how do you guys deal with the expectations, I guess might be the better word, that is on this program when you have the caliber of talent you guys do?
Well, I think the kids are used to it, especially they went through football, and, it just carries over to the basketball season. So I think the kids are able to handle that very well.
So one thing, not a team milestone, but a personal milestone that you're nearing on, and possibly, if things go the way you guys hope this postseason, could get your 700th win throughout the WPIAL postseason. What would that mean to you to pick up that milestone?
Well, it means I coached a lot of great ball players, and a lot of the coaches that coach with me, I appreciate it. Just like the game itself, it's not my individual reward. It's everybody that has been involved with me, like I said, players and coaches. I mean, I'm honored that the names that they mention, that I'm up there with them. That's an honor to me.
So for you, a few years back now, coming into Bell Vernon from Monessen, how has that kind of differed with coaching at all, if it has at all, just the different milestone or different, I guess, setting from a 1A or 2A school to a 4A school now?
Yeah, just a different atmosphere. The first year was a little bit hard. I mean, you're trying to adjust to the kids, and then the kids are trying to adjust to you. But then I think after that, everybody started to know who I was and what I expected to happen. And fortunately, we've been doing very well here. We was in a WPIAL championship 2 years ago, went to the semifinals last year, and hopefully this year we get to go far and, get into the States and see what can happen.
So what do you guys as a team have to do to find a way to get that over that hump in a sense? You've got to the finals, you got to the semis, but you haven't been able to win it, and this is kind of the last hurrah with Whitlock, with Gordon. So what do you guys have to do to get over that hump and get that WPIAL title this year?
Well, I think we have to start playing better defense. I think it starts with defense. If we get a lot of transition points, a lot of easier buckets instead of having to work so hard to get them, that's a plus. And then, again, we have to run our offense and do the normal things. Rebounding and foul shooting is, especially when you get in the playoffs, foul shooting is very important.
So one thing that I've noticed with your group of guys, they like to have a lot of fun on the court. Sometimes that's too much. I think that's a great way to put it. How do you kind of keep that all together when you have all those athletes like Whitlock, like Martin, who are one is going Division I, one is almost certainly going Division I with all the offers he already has.
Right.
So how do you kind of rein that in to keep them from kind of just taking advantage of the situation? It's like, okay, we can go out and we can have all this fun, but we still have to play a basketball game. So how do you kind of keep that all in check?
Well, I tell them that, we don't want to embarrass anybody. So it's okay in a sense to have a little bit of fun, but we're not going out there to embarrass anybody. And, sometimes the games get boring when you're up by 30 points and you know that you could do those types of things, but I tried to rein them in, and like I said, it's not a circus. It's a basketball game, and we're not embarrassing anybody.
And one final question for you, Coach, before we can get back to the second half of our game here on MVI Live and the TRIBLive High School Sports Network. But I've asked a lot of players this question because it was something that went through my head when I was playing basketball. That it was during the national anthem for me. It was always one of those last calming moments as a player to get my head and thoughts regrouped. So what goes through your head those final moments, that last couple minutes when the anthem's playing before you're about to go out and coach your team, hopefully for another victory?
Well, my heart starts to beat a little bit more faster. I know that, especially in playoff time or any big game. And everything like what we have to do, what's expected of the team, and everything that we have to do to get a victory.
All right, Coach, I really appreciate you taking out the time again to do this with us.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, and thank you very much, and you do a great job.
Thank you. Again, that's head coach Joe Salvino looking for win number 700 in his career, hoping he can get his team back to the WPIAL championship game when we come back here on MVI Live and the TRIBLive High School Sports Network. We'll have half number 2 of your game.
Doreen Walters, your full-time realtor and a master certified negotiating expert. One of the most positively reviewed agents on Zillow in southwestern Pennsylvania, with the best marketing and maximum exposure, and a lifelong resident of the Mon Valley.
If you're looking for handmade gifts this season, check out Chloe and Me Candles. All of their products are made in-house since 2014. Their waxes are a proprietary blend of soy, paraffin, coconut, and corn, and they use cotton core wicks and phthalate-free oils. Their body products are made with the finest quality oils, butters, and salts for your skin. Check them out at 205 West Main Street in Monongahela or call 724-298-8696.
Stop on down to Hills Restaurant, Main Street in New Eagle. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, dine in or take out. Online ordering now available at hills-restaurant.com. Hills Restaurant, the best kept secret in the Valley. You can call them at 724-258-5422.
Itty bitty treasures and more at Riverside Village Shops for something extra special. Memory domes, engraving, awards, screen printing, embroidery, gifts, and so much more. Riverside Village Shops located at 127 Spear Street in Bell Vernon.
Come to Trigimbo Motors, a top-rated Pittsburgh area dealership for over 55 years to actually enjoy car buying. From their extensive high-quality selection of cars, SUVs, and trucks, you'll receive personal care and attention and enjoy your experience at Trigimbo Motors of Bentleyville. Visit their website at TrigimboMotors.com or visit them at 125 Wilson Road in Bentleyville.
Back here at the half, a minute away from the start of quarter number 2. 28-24, GCC on top of Monessen. 12 for Ryan Appleby, 9 for Tyree Turner, and just 2 for the big man, Brevin Williams. 12 for Lorenzo Gardner, and 6 for Coons and Blackman each, as Monessen trying to come back after that first half, which was a tale of kind of 2 quarters, Jose. Great start in the first, and then the end of the first quarter into the start of the second, it was all GCC, and the Monessen found their way once again in the third.
Yeah,
second half of the second.
Correct. GCC was able to get their lead up to 10 on 2 separate occasions in that second quarter, but nice 8-2 run in the last 3:49 for the Greyhounds allowed them to inch closer, now trailing by 4 heading into halftime. 12 points for Lorenzo Gardner. He had 6 of those 12 points during that late 8-2 spurt. And then Ryan Appleby has led the way for the Centurions with 12 points of his own. 9 points for Tyree Turner. All 9 came in the first quarter and the first 24 seconds of the second quarter.
As it's going to be Centurion basketball as their student section regains the standing position directly to our right as there's Turner pulling up, back ironing out, rebound, Williams, Blackman, nobody steps on the baseline somehow, and I think that was one of those both at possession, just let it play off. As there's Gardner for 3, banks it, no good. Rebound grab down, Williams up ahead to Turner. And a whistle blown in transition, I think something with Williams and Cody Coons.
Yeah, Coons ran into Williams, and
Williams went into Coach Bosnick.
Yeah, and Coons is going to get the foul there. I think he was just trying to take space away from Williams as he tried to dish that pass off and made too much contact.
Tyree Turner, 30 seconds gone in the second half. There's Alvarez across to Turner. Turner, far side Appleby, bounce pass Alvarez, back up top Turner. Turner, foul line, floats it up, blocked by Thomas. Lanage denies. Cody Coons to Gardner. Gardner drives in, left block, lays it home. Lorenzo Gardner surprisingly doesn't get the offensive foul, but gets the 2 points.
Yeah, I'm surprised no foul was called. Even if it wasn't charging, maybe a blocking foul.
There goes Brevin Williams. Williams almost lost it. Now it's Turner to Parsons for 3. That one looks off the mark. It is. Thomas with the rebound. Bounce pass DeFelice. Up ahead to Coons. Coons hit 2 threes early on. We haven't seen him score since. Now it's DeFelice to Cody Coons. Coons. Back to Dante DeFelice. DeFelice to Coons. Coons on the right side. Up top, DeFelice surveys. Near side, Lorenzo Gardner. 6:30 remaining in the third. 2-point lead for GCC. Gardner in the near side. Drives in. Left block down low. Blackman wasn't ready. DeFelice follows up. Sends it up. No good. Thomas on the putback. Won't fall. Lanage still can't get it to go. Rebound, grab down. Appleby fouled from behind. Over the back went Lanage Thomas. Lanage picks up number 2 on him, number 2 on the Greyhounds. Now it's Appleby around Thomas, straight to the cylinder, off the glass and in. 14 for Ryan Appleby. Lorenzo Gardner left wing, up top DeFelice. Coons on the far side, has it now. Cody Coons back to DeFelice. DeFelice to Gardner. Gardner back to Cody, make that DeFelice. DeFelice inside, Blackman from 15. No good, saved by Thomas almost, but off his fingertips and out it went. As Robinson checks in, replacing Lanage Thomas. 5:40 remaining in the third. 30-26 lead for Greensburg Central Catholic. Kick to the near side, putting it up and putting it home once again. It's Ryan Appleby. 16 for Appleby. He only averages 11.5 per game on the season. As there goes Blackman. Blackman, DeFelice from 17, no good. Rebound ripped away and a tie-up force with Parsons and Gardner.
It'll stay Monessen's ball. Well, Ryan Appleby has come to play here tonight. We haven't heard Brevin Williams' name a ton, but they haven't needed him to provide his usual scoring.
There goes Gardner, puts it up, no good. Near side Turner, he's off and running. Tyree Turner floats it up short. Rebound Coons, and they call the tie-up. Monessen's Blackman wanted the over the back, but Brevin Williams gets the tie-up instead, and it goes to Greensburg Central Catholic with 5:06 remaining in the third.
Well, for the most part, these refs are letting the kids play.
Far side, Brevin Williams drives the baseline. Williams, offensive foul again. That's number 3, drawn by Jake Sean Blackman. He's had himself a night under the block. Blackman, 3 buckets, 3 fouls drawn. Robinson to Dante DeFelice. DeFelice kicks it back to Robinson. Robinson, DeFelice inside. Blackman pulls the trigger short. Nobody underneath besides Appleby of the Centurions. Here comes Turner up ahead. Turner, foul line, kick out Williams, and Turner went flying. The foul was called against Greensburg Central Catholic, and after the fact, Williams sent it through. Second foul on Devontae Robinson. 3rd foul this quarter on Monessen. Down 32-26, 4:30 remaining here in the 3rd. Just 2 points for the Greyhounds, 4 for the Centurions. There's Parsons off the inbound for 3. Off the mark, rebound by Lorenzo Gardner. Gardner up over the stripe. Comes near side, pass off Cody Coons. He hasn't scored since the 1st. Now it's Gardner. Screen by Blackman, doesn't use it. Pass off to DeFelice. Dante DeFelice, back to Gardner. Gardner slowing things down. Lorenzo Gardner surveys his options. Turner applying pressure as it goes off to Coons. Coons to Blackman, inside Robinson. Robinson at the left elbow, kick out Gardner. Gardner drives in. Gardner floats it up, no good. Rebound. Blackman stuffs it off the window and in. 8 points now for Blackman. 32-28. Monessen inches closer, and a foul, and we'll go back the other way.
Only 4 points apiece for these two teams. With 3.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter, very low scoring.
Actually, I don't think we got a foul, just a turnover there on Greensburg Central Catholic, but...
And not a lot of turnovers either. That's the first turnover of the 3rd quarter.
There's DeFelice over the timeline. Dante DeFelice, screened by Robinson. He'll likely use it as he rolls right. DeFelice, inside Gardner, drives to the right block, turns it over to Appleby. Now it's Smelka in transition. Smelka in the left wing. Smelka almost had it tied up by Robinson. Up top to Appleby. Appleby near side pass Alvarez. One more. Williams pulls the trigger and Brevin sends it through. 4 points for the 6'4 senior Brevin Williams. Now it's Cody Coons' turn at the other end. Goes underneath and it deflects off the bottom of the cylinder and back the other way we roll. Williams underneath off the glass. No good. There was no one around Williams and he missed. He cannot believe it. As you saw the hands go over the eyes of the senior Williams. Now it's Gardner looking to make them pay at the other end. He won't.
Yeah, and that's not a lot of second chance opportunities here their last couple trips down court.
Driving in, blocked. Coons denies Alvarez. Now it's Robinson. Sidesteps Tyree Turner. Robinson up top to Dante DeFelice. 2:10 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Now it's Cody Coons. Bounce pass inside that goes to Blackman. Back out. Coons for 3 again. That one short. Rebound Alvarez. Turner coast to coast. Drives in off the window. Bucket won't foul. Foul against the Greyhounds.
Now Turner looking to get into double figures.
Dante DeFelice gets foul number 2 against him. That's the fourth Monessen foul this quarter. As they're going to wipe up some sweat. I think they're going to make Appleby do it.
Well, he's done it all for Greensburg Central Catholic tonight.
At least he had to be shown where it was at.
Yeah, but why not assist there as well?
Hey, better than what they had to wipe up the floor at, was it, Bell Vernon on Wednesday?
At Monessen.
At Monessen, that's right. That's right, it looked like napkins basically being handed out. You know, we've been so many places this week. This is game number 5 of the week. And
it's been a wild week for sure. I mean, a lot of good playoff basketball. The game I had last night, Honestly, we had that Laurel Highlands Bell Vernon game earlier this year. That is in the discussion for game of the year. That South Allegheny Steel Valley game last night. Phenomenal performances by the Epps brothers. Michael Mahalski at 22 for SA. Just phenomenal basketball this week.
As Turner knocks it through. 10 points for Tyree Turner. We'll see the Epps brothers here on MVI Lives coverage of the WPIAL postseason on Monday from RMU.
And the Gladiators get the second-seeded Montour Spartans.
Timeout goes to Greensburg Central Catholic there.
Not Montour Spartans.
Bell Vernon gets Montour.
Bell Vernon gets Montour. South Allegheny gets number 8, Avonworth.
The Antelopes.
I have that Bell Vernon Montour game on the mind.
That's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow, but that's a different animal than the first meeting those two teams met.
No Quentin Martin last time. No Devin Whitlock in the second half of that game. So that should
be no Isaiah Mosley.
Yeah, that should be an interesting one to see who gets a trip to the Pete. Bell Vernon has been in the semifinals 3 straight years, just like South Allegheny in 3A. And Bell Vernon looking for their second trip to the Peterson Event Center in the last 3 years.
GCC trying to make their second straight semifinals. Of course, they were last year's runners-up to Our Lady of Sacred Heart, who right now is looking like they're coasting to a semifinal matchup and possibly a championship rematch with GCC in the semis like Sarah Catholic and Neshannock have in 2A girls. But in the postseason, these teams have met 4 times, 3 times in WPIAL play, most notably in the 2011 WPIAL championship game. Monessen 3-0 in WPIAL playoff games against GCC. In the state playoffs, the one win belongs to the Centurions, who are 6-3 against Monessen, as Turner knocks down the pair after the stoppage. Since 2003 is that record, but all Monessen's wins against Greensburg Central Catholic have been playoff wins.
And if Monessen wants to get another playoff win over this Greensburg Central Catholic team, they got to get things going offensively.
Starts with this position by as Cody Coons too far underneath, kicks it out, up in the air. Appleby the steal. Appleby. Bounce pass now. Brevin Williams for 3. Williams buries it as the big man's starting to heat up. Up to 7. He had 20 in the first round. DeFelice to Gardner.
I believe this is the largest lead for GCC now tonight at 11 points.
Inside Blackman, the Greyhounds need to find an answer, and Cody Coons has it. Lead back down to 9. Coons' first bucket since the first quarter. Monessen needs to just chip away before the end of this third quarter with 1:10 remaining. Appleby up to Tyree Turner. Turner, kick out. There's Sherwin. Sherwin back to Turner. Double team by Robinson, and Gardner spins away with a pass off to Appleby. Now it's Williams for 3 again. That one pinballs out. Rebound Robinson. Robinson has it. Still loose on the floor. The whistle blows, and it's Monessen basketball. See if they get the foul or the tie-up. It looks like it's the foul, and it's going to go against Appleby. .9 on the clock here in the third quarter. 9-point lead for Greensburg Central Catholic as they've inched closer increased the lead each quarter by a slim margin. It was 1 after 1. It was 4 after 2, and right now it's at 9, nearing the end of 3. Monessen would like to shrink that to at least 7. 33 on the clock. There goes DeFelice. No good. Rebound Appleby. And now the lead can go back to double digits with 25. Here's Ryan Appleby. Bounce pass. Williams drives in, has it knocked away. Got it back. Brevin puts it up. No good. Rebound Turner from 15. Banks it up. No good. Sherwin got it off to Smoka, who finally finds pay dirt. Down to 7. Here's Gardner with 6, and Gardner fouled from behind by Turner. And that's number 3 on Tyree Turner.
Nice game for Anthony Samelka coming off the bench, the 6'3 sophomore. 7 points.
Turner still can't believe that foul against him as he is replaced by Parsons. There's Gardner with 4, Gardner with 3, down to 2, Gardner with 1, underneath, they run out of time. And Coach Bosnick can't believe that Monessen didn't get a shot off. As after 3, GCC up by 11, looking to put a stamp on this game in the fourth quarter, but we'll see if the Greyhounds have anything to say about it when we come back on MVI Lives coverage of the WPIAL postseason exclusively on the TRIBLive High School Sports Network.
Swiss Alpine Dry Cleaners, more than just the cleaners. We have a complete seamstress shop that takes care of all your alterations and sewing needs. Open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Call at 412-896-8082. Or visit us at your convenience, located in Elizabeth Township, inside Swiss Alpine Village. You can also visit us online at SwissAlpineDryCleaners.com.
After 3, an 11-point lead for Greensburg Central Catholic over Monessen, who just mustered all of 6. That's right, 6 points in the third quarter. Greensburg Central Catholic, slow and steady, has increased their lead by 13, or increased their total by 13, their lead by 7. One chapter of this contest to be told, as a spot in the semifinals still up for grabs. Monessen gets the ball to start. They need a bucket. They need it soon. Lorenzo Gardner in the left wing. Gardner for 3. No good. Rebound underneath Robinson. Back outside. Coons all alone. Williams up in the air. Now Coons driving. Coons to Gardner. Gardner left wing triple. No good. Rebound. Blackman stuffs it off the glass and in. Good trip to start for Monessen. Couple of extra chances at the rim and eventually ended in 2. Now it's Appleby to Turner. Turner turns it over. Robinson into the front court. Devontae Robinson. Top of the key. Robinson into Blackman. Back to Robinson. Robinson to Blackman. Blackman bounce pass to Coons. Left corner. Coons to Blackman. Blackman swings it around. Now Gardner drives in. Floats it up front iron. No. Rebound. Blackman off the glass again. Jashawn Blackman at 12. He's really been the catalyst for Monessen here in this game, offensively and defensively, in a push called, and I believe it goes against Lorenzo Gardner. So Lorenzo gets number 3.
Yeah, we've seen a couple games. You mentioned Jashawn Blackman. We've seen a couple games where Blackman has struggled a little bit offensively, where he's been in foul trouble. This is the type of game that Jashawn Blackman can play when everything's clicking for him.
Williams all alone. That's not an answer for success, as Brevin Williams easily stuffed it in.
Yeah, he's come alive here in this second half, now up to 9 points.
And Lorenzo picked up his 4th. So that's probably going to force the hand of head coach Dan Bosnick. We're going to see Devontae Ross Clayton come back in. Brevin Williams up to 10. 3-point play for Brevin Williams. And just like that, the lead back to double digits after a very good 4-0 start for Monessen.
Now 3 in double figures for GCC. Appleby 16, 11 for Turner, and now 10 for Brevin Williams.
8 this half for Williams. Far side, Ross Clayton. Devontae Ross Clayton double team off of Smelka and out. 6:25 remaining in the fourth. Possibly 6:25 remaining in the Greyhound season if they don't turn things around and turn things around quickly. Greensburg Central Catholic, they have the advantage.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, too, with Monessen's leading scorer on their bench.
Cody Coons, he's been Mr. Do-It-All all year for Monessen. He's going to have to step up now. Blackman, he's tried to help carry the load as Blackman. Bounce pass in. Coons wasn't ready for it. Here comes Smelka. Smelka drives in. Kick out Turner. Turner to Williams for 3. No good by Williams. Rebound pinballs to DeFelice. Up ahead to Coons. Out of his reach and out of bounds. Another turnover for the Greyhounds. I think it's come to the point where Monessen's now just starting to force things, it looks like, and GCC's perfectly okay of playing that.
Yeah.
Appleby, double team, spun away from them. Appleby turns it over. Blackman got it to Ross Clayton. Devontae Ross Clayton, he's fouled by Turner. That's number 4 on Turner, and I think the reason it went that way is he kind of looked like he slid the feet late at that last second.
Yeah, to me, it kind of looked like Ross got his shoulder in there. Might have gotten away with one, but nonetheless, a couple big free throws here for Ross, a chance to cut into this deficit.
Monessen 1 for 4 from the charity stripe. Back iron, no for Devontae Ross Clayton. Turner out, Parsons back in. Through the motions, sending it up, and back iron eventually rolls in. Iron very kind to Devontae Ross Clayton.
First point of the night.
Monessen needs stops, they need scores, they need them quick. GCC's fine with taking a lot of time off the clock as DeFelice and Ross Clayton draping over their target. Inside, Williams off the window and one again. The big man coming alive in the second half. 10 points this half for Brevin Williams.
I mean, it was only a matter of time before Brevin Williams started getting things going.
Williams off the mark on the extra attempt. So the lead stays at 10. DeFelice. Now it's Robinson. Robinson back to DeFelice. Dante DeFelice surveys his options. 5 on the clock. Now it's Ross Clayton. Bounce pass goes to DeFelice. Off it goes to Robinson. Robinson in the right wing, guarded by Parsons. Packing it in defensively in this 2-3 zone. That is GCC. Up top, around the horn, left alone. Ross Clayton buries the triple, and that's huge for the Greyhounds.
That's a shot that Ross Clayton has hit a ton this year.
Near side, Appleby. Appleby kicks it. Williams drives again. Buried again. And draws the contact once more. Third straight and one opportunity for Brevin Williams. Blackman got the personal. Brevin Williams has come to life. 13 points for Brevin Williams this half.
Correct.
(49-38). See what Robinson can do. Off to Ross Clayton. Inside Cody Coons. Coons drives up. Fadeaway, no good. Now it's Appleby. Near side Smelka. You see the frustration starting to mount on the Greyhounds bench. You have to wonder, with now 4 on the clock, when do they bring back in Lorenzo Gardner? Now it's Smelka. Smelka drives in. Coons went with the tomahawk chop and got nothing but air. Smelka sprawled on the floor. Up ahead, here comes Robinson. Robinson knocked out of bounds. That's by Dylan Parsons. And for the first time in what feels like forever, we're going to see Timothy Kershaw come back into the game for Monessen. And when I say forever, I mean like in the course of the season. It feels like we haven't seen Kershaw in a very long time.
He's played a couple of he played against Jeanette a little bit, couple of minutes, but
he saw a lot of action early in the season as Monessen calls the timeout here, compared to the latter stages.
Yeah, he's a lot. It seems like he's gotten some more playing time towards the end of this season, and it's been a valuable piece coming off the bench. Little score update as well. The end of 3, the McKeesport girls up 38-28 on the Trinity Hillers.
38-32, EF on top of Beaver.
Some of our local teams looking for some upsets. I mean, I don't know if you call McKeesport over Trinity an upset, because we've seen McKeesport this year.
They're good.
A very good young team. But and we talked about it so many times, this is a young McKeesport team. Can they get far in the 5A bracket with teams like Trinity, with teams like Char Valley also in that bracket? But hey, they're proven against a very good Trinity team that they belong.
I don't think EF would be an upset either necessarily. That doesn't surprise me. They're always a tough out.
It might be an upset to anybody except us because we've seen them a lot this season, and maybe Beaver is Beaver. The last couple years, they've been a force there in 4A, but Elizabeth Ford, a lot of depth, a lot of talent on that team. A team that took Beaver to the limit last year in the postseason and kind of just lost steam towards the end. But EF looking for that revenge, and so far so good for them.
Let's see what Monessen can do out of the stoppage. As Lorenzo Gardner, Jashawn Blackman, Ross Clayton, Robinson, and Coons. I think it's a very three-point heavy shooting lineup for Monessen on the floor, including Jashawn Blackman. For our GCC listeners, the big man can step out and hit those triples just like Williams can. As there's Ross Clayton off to Robinson. 3:30 remaining here in the fourth. Ross Clayton in the right wing, drives out, off the hands of Blackman and out. And GCC a chance to take their largest lead of the game, and Tyree Turner back in. Spread out scoring for the Centurions, 11 for Turner, 16 Appleby, 15 Williams. As Alvarez down to Williams, off the glass and in again. Brevin Williams up to 17. The senior doesn't want his senior year to end here at Norwin as he's come alive and taken over the second half as another errant pass as things are falling apart for Monessen. The frustration mounts as I think Lorenzo Gardner could be on the verge of number 5 with kind of just see the facial expression he's been giving as Alvarez all too easy.
Yeah, I believe that's the first time Alvarez has scored here tonight.
There's Gardner to Coons, Cody Coons, bounce pass. That's to Robinson. Robinson back up to Coons. 2:35 remaining in the fourth. Coons. Very long possessions for Monessen as well. Not a lot of quick looks at the bucket, which is what they need if they want any chance, and a turnover. Back the other way, it's Appleby. Appleby looks to seal the deal. He's fouled by Cody Coons.
And you see the frustration is setting in for Monessen.
.222 remaining in the fourth. 53-38. No good for Ryan Appleby. 16 points for the senior. 12 came in the first half. 6 in the first, 6 in the second, 4 in the third, and none here in the fourth as we get a timeout. Full variety called by Greensburg Central Catholic. Greensburg Central Catholic loving life here in their second home once again. 2-0 here a season ago at Norwin High School on their route to the WPIAL championship game at Peters Township, where they fell to Jake DeMichael and the Spataforas, as that was their third try at a WPIAL title since 2010. They've been come up empty every single time, still looking for that first. And they're smelling a rematch with Osh in the next round. That game would be played at a neutral location. Last year, their semifinal game was here against Stowe Rocks, where Brevin Williams and Christian McGowan put on a bit of a show to send the Centurions into the title game. This is just a move to the semifinals this year, but it would be the second straight time there for Greensburg Central Catholic. Last year is the 2 seed, this year is the 4. Back iron no for Appleby, and that one out of bounds. Off of Cody Coons. 2:19 remaining in the fourth.
It just seems like nothing really in this second half has gone Monessen's way. It's really been all GCC. And Monessen took some momentum going into halftime, but GCC has regrouped and done a good job. And
Brevin Williams fouled from behind.
That man is a big reason why GCC has been able to get so much separation here in this second half. 15 of his 17 here in this 16-minute span.
Brevin Williams 2 for 3 from the line. Being recruited to play for good old Coach Kiefer out in Carlo.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Williams hasn't garnered much attention. I mean, he's shown a little bit of a slow start, but really they didn't need him to really do much early on because Appleby and Turner were kind of leading the way, but he's really stepped up into a more prominent scoring role here in this second half.
19 points for Brevin Williams. He can step out and shoot the three. He can beat you inside, and he can hit down some free throws as well. And it seems like a coach's dream, if you ask me. And first time I got to see him last year when GCC hosted Frazier, as Lorenzo Gardner stuffs it off the window and in for two. First bucket in a long time for Lorenzo. I immediately went over and asked, hey, Brevin have any offers? And said, no, surprisingly not yet. And that's still a big surprise to me that he's not getting more looks.
And Gardner only his fourth point of the second half has 16.
As Appleby with ease from the left side up to 18. As the GCC student section telling Monessen's bus drivers what they can do with 1:20 remaining in the fourth and a 17-point lead. There goes Gardner floating it up. He's fouled. So the clock stops with 1:15 remaining in the fourth. Foul will go against Tyree Turner. And that's going to end Tyree Turner's night a minute 15 early.
It's pretty insane, the quarter that Brevin Williams has had. For GCC, scored their first 8 points, actually first 10 points rather, of this quarter, has 12 of his 19.
Yeah, he's been absolutely outstanding. As Lorenzo Gardner will shoot a pair. Just a sophomore is Gardner as he misses that time by. He's missed his last two. He's now 1 for 3.
Yes. This has been a phenomenal season for these Greyhounds. I mean, so much to look forward to with such a young group. They got Cody Coons as the only senior starter that they are losing.
As the other way, Appleby cherry picking, and Appleby lays it in. Or, Jose, should I say apple picking?
I guess that would probably be the better term.
20 points for Appleby. Cody Coons pulls the trigger off the mark. Rebound comes back to Smelka. Smelka in no hurry. Under a minute to play in the fourth. Near side Parsons. Parsons to the corner. Bounce pass back to Parsons. And Parsons fouled by Lorenzo Gardner. .3 on the clock as Lorenzo fouls out. 16 points for the sophomore. Checking in will be Jack Sacco, one of the seniors. Getting to see some action. I think a really good move by head coach Bosnick here, bringing in one of his seniors, who's actually one of the captains on this team as well.
Yeah,
doesn't see a lot of action.
Opportunity to get some time here. The end of the contest is
first point for Dylan Parsons tonight.
Yeah, and Parsons has been a big part of this GCC team this season.
Averages 8 a game, goes 2 for 2, 61-40. Coming in, it was a 41-30 game. At the half, 28-24. GCC got better with age.
Yeah, 20-10 here in this fourth quarter.
Rebound, Blackman. Blackman up and in. He draws the foul as well.
And I got to say, I think Jay-Sean Blackman has been Monessen's best player tonight. He has been great offensively for the Hounds. Has battled, stayed out of foul trouble.
Drawing a lot of fouls as well, but he's 0 for 3 from the line. 21 on the clock. Sacco with pressure as bringing it up over the divider is Smoka. He got it off the feed from the freshman Sean Walker. Parsons on the far side. Clock will tick out, and the 16-0 run was put to a stop by the Centurions. Monessen, the spectacular season has come to an end And GCC, for the second straight year, back to the semifinals. And it's a rematch with Olsh. As you see Keontae Robinson leading the charge through the line. He played football at Greensburg Central Catholic this year before transferring back to Monessen as a couple of his teammates along the way, as the spectacular season comes to an end for Monessen with their first loss to a 2A opponent, being Greensburg Central Catholic, and GCC showing they are worthy of that number 4 ranking over Monessen.
Yeah, GCC looked very worthy of that. Great performance by the Centurions. You got to give credit to these Monessen Greyhounds. This is still a very young team, a team that will be back in these 2A playoffs, and a team that, with Lorenzo Gardner leading the way as just a sophomore, they're not going away anytime soon.
Your final score, it is 61-42. Greensburg Central Catholic took care of business in the second half. They dominated number 5 Monessen, but still a fantastic season. It stings right now, but when you look back, it's going to be one definitely that is a memorable moment for Monessen. For Greensburg Central Catholic, you're not done. They want revenge on Olsh. It's not going to be easy, but we've seen crazy things happen this year. We've already seen number 1 Elwood City drop to Avonworth. We've already seen number 1 Rochester lose in the girls bracket in 1A. We saw West Green lose out of the 2 seed in that bracket as well. So you never know what can happen. The GCC girls lost to number 5 Seton LaSalle last evening. And it kind of tells you, after Elwood City last year, there's always a chance no matter who you're playing. And Greensburg Central Catholic, they get big bad Olsh. But, they have some players that can match up with them. Brevin Williams. He went for 19 tonight. That incredible 12-point fourth quarter put his team on his back when it mattered the most. 11 for Tyree Turner, 20 for Ryan Appleby to lead the way, 7 for Smoka off the bench. And, Parsons only had two tonight from the charity stripe. So for GCC, you did what you had to do, but there's still a lot you kind of be left out there. And if Greensburg Central Catholic wants to get back to the title game, they have to have a better start next week than they did against Monessen here tonight.
Yeah, much better. You have to have a better start, and just you have to have all your guys clicking like they did tonight. I mean, obviously Ryan Appleby leading the way with 20 points. You had Williams, get hot in the second half. Turner was battling foul trouble throughout the game, but he's still able to be in double figures. If Parsons can even get into double figures, that's going to be big. But stopping Jake DeMichael is going to be the biggest part of this. You're going to have to keep him in check. I think he had over 20 points at the half tonight.
He's pretty good.
For Olsh, he's pretty good. It's going to be a tough task for Greensburg Central Catholic, but I'm sure they're going to be up for it.
So Monessen will end their season 19-5. They won 19 of their last 21 games, including a 16-game win streak that was ended by Greensburg Central Catholic tonight. Their first 2A loss for GCC. They moved to 18-3 in a trip to the semifinals for the second straight year under the fourth quarter, led by Brevin Williams. But a pleasure as always, Jose, and GCC back to the semifinals for the second straight year, looking to get it done against Olson. We'll have exclusive coverage for you, not necessarily Jose and myself, but on the TRIBLive High School Sports Network of that semifinal matchup, your exclusive home for the WPIAL postseason. But until next time, I'm Alex Lyons. On behalf of my partner, Jose Nayer, saying thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time right here on your exclusive home for the WPIAL postseason, the TRIBLive High School Sports Network. Have a great rest of your Friday and a great weekend, everybody.